My name is Marianne Barnes, and I'm the Master Distiller at Castle and Key Distillery. I'm the first female Master Distiller since Prohibition here in Kentucky. Before I became the Master Distiller at Castle and Key Distillery, I had a very comfortable corporate job. I was going to be the next Woodford Reserve Master Distiller. But to make that change and to kind of take the reins over here, it seemed risky, and it wasn't a decision I took lightly. You know, it is pressure. It's a lot of pressure, you know, being a young person taking on this monumental task that seasoned master distillers were turned off by. We purchased a historic distillery. It was the site of the old Taylor Distillery, and it had been that name since 1887. This is such an important place to bourbon history. Colonel Taylor was known as the father of modern bourbon, and this place was a tourist destination in its heyday. You can feel the history here, and it's almost like walking back through time. So we're leaving it rusty and a little unfinished, and because it tells a story of how glorious it was and that somebody really cared about it, and eventually it was abandoned for quite some time. We finally decided to rename the distillery Castle and Key. So the castle, of course, referring to the distillery itself, creates the image of protection for Colonel Taylor's whiskey. The key part of our name refers to the spring house. It was built right along with the castle back in the 1800s, and this was his reason for choosing the site, was the water source. And this was the key to his bourbon recipe. So this is our key as well. This is the key that we've been talking about. The most important thing about Kentucky limestone water is the fact that it's iron-free and mineral-rich. So this water has a very high calcium content, which makes it perfect for making bourbon. The yeast love the calcium. They produce a whole bunch of new flavors that they wouldn't otherwise. So this is warehouse B. This warehouse is almost 2 football fields long. We think that because it's a little more humid down here, it changes the way that the whiskey oxidizes and creates different flavors. So I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun over the next 4 years figuring out where those sweet spots are in this really long, monstrous warehouse. It's been an exciting journey working here at this distillery. I feel just so fortunate to be down here every day and to see it changing. It's been dramatic from, you know, a year and a half ago when I started to being about a month away from getting the stills going and producing bourbon here at this distillery for the first time in 40 plus years. So that's a major milestone for us. It's coming back to life.